Alright, back with another YouTube video. This time checking out some Halo Rec League action. We got Status Who in the Premade Master Division, and basically just looking at the one game they lost in the series. They actually went 3-1, but they lost this Strongholds game on Solitude, despite actually outslaying the other team by 1 kill, and reviewed the entire game, but I really just want to focus on this one moment that I think is kind of the turning point in the entire game. Even though they're currently losing on the scoreboard, they are currently 4 alive, so all 4 members of their team are up. The other team is 2 dead, and the last 2 guys are just coming off spawn. And I kind of want to walk through what happens at this point and why I think just a couple changes could have actually completely shifted the outcome of the game. So looking at Jar's POV, basically what we're going to see here is they just actually wipe the entire other team. So Jar gets killed, they get another kill, and currently the other team is 3 dead. Wait, 1, 2, yeah, 3 dead, but the last guy is about to die as well. Oh, sorry, nope, 4 dead. And so from this point, the other team is 4 dead. We've got a guy bottom mid, we got another guy bottom mid, Jar that is in loop, and Carnage is also bottom mid. So from this point in time, since we just wiped, we know we have about 10 seconds. Thankfully in Halo Infinite we can actually slide out very quickly and get to the places that we want to be. What ends up happening here is they kind of just fall back and hold BC, which is okay, but I would actually argue the stronger setup is to go to A and hold A. And the reason being, we'll see in a moment. So if I pull up the Game Coach app, what we end up happening is Jar falls back to the posters area, Carnage ends up back at C nest area, Venom stays bottom mid, and Yoxinator goes up to top blue. And the problem with this kind of setup, first Jar is actually here, but he ends up going here. The main issue though with this type of setup is we're not able to cover each other effectively, and I actually already put the enemies in the positions that they all come out. And what happens is, because Jar is so exposed here and there's no one watching his cross, so Yox is in here, and the only option Yox has at this point is to just take a 1v1. There is no one who will be able to shoot for him. Maybe Carnage can get a shot through this window, but it's only going to be like 1 point of damage. Jar, if he were back here maybe he could watch across the bridge, but also again, this guy is either going to just back up or he'll get through with only 1 point of damage. Similarly, so Yox is on an island, Jar is also on an island. Because Venom is bottom mid, he can't see anyone who's coming out to Jar. Maybe he can get here and see a little bit up into the window, but it's not a really good angle. Really, he's just isolated one-on-one with the guy coming bottom mid. And Carnage, because we're set up in, this type of L shape, this whole side of the map is basically closed to spawns, so no one beyond this line will get a spawn. Everyone is going to be spawning in the back tram area and then in the A area. And so what happens is the entire other team waits until they're all alive, and they all push out different directions. So we have guys coming up into small window, we have a guy going LR hall, we have another guy going bottom mid, and we have a guy coming out through flowers. And what happens since everyone on the other team is so spread out, Jar has no escape here. This is just a straight 1-on-1, and actually, since the other guy's coming out LR, it's a 2-on-1, so Jar is going to die. Yoxnator is going to take a 1-on-1 over here, and even if he wins it, it's not that good, because now he's going to be one-shot and kind of isolated in this area where he can't help any of his other teammates. And the same thing kind of happens to Venom as well, since he's bottom mid, and this guy's coming bottom mid. He also has to take a 1-on-1, which actually turns worse because these guys who are going to take out Jar also end up being able to collapse on Venom. And then I don't think the nest area is bad. I think this is where you would want to be. I just think looking in this direction is not ideal. We probably want to get up top nest and look back towards the A spawns, because we know everyone is going to be spawning A. I also don't recommend having anyone bottom mid at all. If I were going to split like this, maybe move Jar over to here, and then he can kind of cover people coming out on ledge. He can also see people coming this way. Maybe move Venom into this window so you can see people coming out on LR and also see people in the window. Similarly, you can have Yox here, or you can still have Yox in top blue, but the goal is he can't fight this guy 1-on-1. He sees this guy and he says, hey, Venom, there's a guy here, and then they double team him. So the idea is there's more people to cover crosses. However, I think even with this setup, you're still relying on these two guys have to win a fight. Jar has to, basically rat over here. He can't be trying to take a direct fight, which he just, straight up fights this guy. And if he wins it, that's great, but you're leaving the game at a 50-50 fight in that case. Whereas if he sets over here, he's kind of just ratting and waiting on this guy to feel comfortable. He runs through here, and then you get a back smack, or maybe he runs down bottom soda and goes bottom mid and starts capping B. Maybe this guy comes out. You see them before they see you, though. In this case, they're not going to be able to just straight fight you. However, I think the more ideal solution here would be to follow this next setup that I have, which would still have Carnage up in C, or whoever was closest to C. Jar, actually, instead of going to set here, would be coming down into loop or possibly setting LR. And then the two guys closest to bottom mid would fly into A and block these back A spawns, and then someone gets ledge, someone gets this door. Now, the reason that this is important is now you have an L shape that covers the perimeter of the entire map. So you are forcing, and actually this will be even further out, you're basically forcing the other team to spawn in just this area. They have no other piece of the map, especially if Carnage is up pretty far here. So they can't spawn back tram because Jar is blocking that spawn, especially if he gets here until they spawn in small window and then comes out to loop or LR. Similarly, the A spawns are blocked, the yard spawns are blocked by the two people here, and finally the nest spawns are blocked over here. So they get, this 25% of the map instead of giving up 50% of the map, and they also can't approach anyone straight on. The closest person to them, they have two ways to go. They can either try to go down this hill, which is never a good idea because Carnage is going to be shooting them straight on. Obviously, he's going to have to be dipping in and out and playing his life. He can't just sit here and fight them directly, but he can put some damage in them and then try to back up, which may give them some confidence to keep coming this way. And as soon as they get here, they're going to get beamed by this guy, they're going to get beamed by this guy, and if they keep coming forward, Carnage gets his shields back and kills them. If they don't go that path, or Carnage just shooting them forces them all to run into this area, depending on how disciplined they are. So if they wait on all 4 to spawn, you may be in a situation where this gets a little dicey, but if they don't wait on all 4 of them to spawn, then this guy comes through here, starts getting shot by this guy, and the key is this player can't just take this fight to the death. He has to be disciplined enough to know that the goal is to just bait this guy in. So he has to make a decision. Do I push through here? Because you shoot this guy twice, and as soon as you start getting shot back, you just leave. This guy either decides to come through here, and guess what? Got a teammate here. You also have a teammate who is 2 steps away from coming down this hallway. Or he gets scared and runs back, which is fine because you're still scoring. Or he comes out on the bridge, in which case, you know, he's getting shot by the guy at ledge, he's getting shot by the guy at LR, he can also get shot by a guy top nest. And so they're basically just trapped in the smallest corner of the map, and depending on how disciplined they are, they may never get out. Only real option they have is to wait on all 4 of them to spawn at the same time and then make a hard push in one direction. So they either all fly out towards yard together, or they all fly out through hotel and towards nest together. Maybe they try to get into B. So if we go back to the game, what actually happens, again, Carnage heads towards C. Jar does set up kind of where I would like him to be. Yox comes here to take a one-on-one. As you see, Venom's taking him one-on-one bottom mid. He is doing a good job at Played His Life. Jar pretty much just directly fights this guy and gets double teamed by the guy that comes out. So he gets double teamed, he shot the guy in small window, and then gets chased down by the guy LR. Yox again is down on shields, taking him one-on-one. Venom is taking him one-on-one, and Carnage is just kind of out of the play because of where his teammates are positioned. So I'm not necessarily stating that his position at C is bad. It's just in relation to where all the other teammates are within this specific play. Anyways, short video. Hopefully this is helpful, and thanks.